Austin, Texas, a city defined by live music, college energy, and a sense of safety stronger than most. But on December 6, 1991, that sense was shattered. What started as a routine night at a yogurt shop ended in a crime so brutal, it left scars across the community's soul. I can't believe it's yogurt. Teenage girls closed for the night, unaware. But in one brutal moment, their lives ended, and a nightmare began. It's hard to believe it's been over 30 years. Yet for some, it still feels like yesterday. I want to take you back with me, back to a December 1991 night in Austin, Texas. A night that would change everything. For teenage girls, full of life, dreams, and laughter, were taken from this world in a way so cruel it's almost too much to say out loud. This isn't just another crime story. These were someone's daughters, sisters, friends, girls who should have grown up, fallen in love, chased their dreams, maybe even had families of their own. Instead, their futures were stolen, and what was left behind was heartbreak, fear, and a city that would never be the same. For decades, this case has haunted investigators, left families aching for answers, and carved an empty space that time can't fill. And here at Dark Matters TV, we don't just remember the crime, we remember them. Because behind every headline is a life that mattered. And these girls mattered more than words could ever capture. Welcome to Dark Matters TV, where we don't just recount crimes, we remember lives. Tonight, we walk back more than 3 decades into the shadows of a case that shook a city to its core. 4 teenage girls, bound by friendship, torn from this world in an act of unimaginable cruelty. Here, we move slowly, with care, peeling back the layers of tragedy, heartbreak, and the unanswered questions that still echo today. Because behind every headline is a name, behind every crime scene is a family, and behind every mystery is a life that mattered. If you find yourself searching for more than just the facts, if you believe that saying their names keeps their memory alive, that remembering them gives meaning to their loss, then you are exactly where you need to be. We tell these stories with care, with reverence, and always with a promise that the lives we speak of will never fade into silence. If you are here with me, take a moment to hit that subscribe button, share this memory, and leave a word or two in the comment below. This little effort of yours will help us keep memory like this alive and keep telling stories such as this. There were 4 of them. Eliza Thomas, 17. Jennifer Harbison, also 17. Her sister, Sarah Harbison, 15. And Amy Ayers, 13. They joked about homework and weekend plans. Amy watched them laugh, innocent and full of life. At 11:47 p.m., firefighters responded to what looked like a structure fire. But when the smoke cleared, what lay behind was unspeakable. The shop had become a crime scene. 4 bodies, bound with their own clothing, shot in the back of the head, naked and charred beyond recognition. One, Amy, lay separate, her body severely burned, her small arm reaching out toward her friends. A haunting image that would endure a bullet struck her, but miraculously didn't destroy her brain. The scene defied comprehension. 3 were found gagged and naked. Amy had been shot, seemingly alive, then shot again before the fire. Her survival was brief. Evidence of sexual assault was also suspected. The killing shocked Austin to the core. School closed by December 10th. More than 1,500 people had turned out for their funeral. The city wept. This wasn't supposed to happen in Austin. A reward soared above $100,000. Investigators swarmed and chased every lead they could find. But the crime scene was sabotaged by fire and water, crucial evidence destroyed. Witnesses spoke of 2 men lingering in the store, drinking and watching. Yet no physical evidence tied them to the crime. APD even tried hypnosis, sketches, hypnosis again. Tipsters called from the occult. Nothing stuck. Detective Hector Polanco, a man with a history, infamous for obtaining confessions in other high-profile cases, now brought in to solve this one. He leaned on psychological pressure, coercing statements that later unraveled. But confessions mean little when memory breaks under pressure. Without physical proof, the case stalled. Worse, the methods eroded trust in the investigation. Fire didn't just destroy evidence, it blurred lines. And the early response let suspicion rule unchallenged. The case lay dormant until 1999, when 4 teenage boys were arrested. Maurice Pierce, Michael Scott, Robert Springsteen, and Forrest Wellborn, 3 of whom would later confess. Maurice was apprehended near the shop with a handgun matching the murder caliber. Under interrogation pressure, he implicated the others. Springsteen and Scott eventually confessed and were convicted. Springsteen sentenced to death in 2001, Scott to life in prison. But their confessions, later recanted, were ruled coerced, gained under duress and flawed interrogation tactics. They had no physical evidence linking them to the crime. No DNA matched them. In 2009, both convictions were overturned. The confessions violated constitutional rights, and DNA evidence excluded them. They walked free, yet never fully cleared. In 2020, advanced DNA testing produced a male profile, ungiven to any of the four. A match floated in a federal database, but legal issues blocked access. The story re-entered public consciousness in 2025 with The Yogurt Shop Murders, a 4-part documentary directed by Austin native Margaret Brown. It premiered at South by Southwest in March, then debuted on HBO and HBO Max starting August 3rd. The series delved deeper than sensationalism, focusing on grief, trauma, and collective memory over spectacle. The production team even received therapy to cope with the disturbing content they were handling day after day. And it's not hard to understand why. Because this isn't just a story. It's a nightmare that 4 teenage girls lived through in their final moments. Alone, frightened, trapped in a reality no child should ever face. A reality where their innocence was shattered and where cruelty wasn't a faceless concept. It came from another human being. Someone who made a choice. Someone who decided to take away everything they had and everything they could have been. When we think about what they endured, the fear, the pain, the sudden and senseless theft of their futures, it forces us to confront an uncomfortable truth. That evil can live among us, walk beside us, and hide in plain sight. And that's why this story matters, not just because of the horror of what happened, but because of who it happened to. Daughters, sisters, friends. Girls who deserve to grow old, to laugh, to live. At this point, I know you feel a type of way, and you find this story disturbing. As we remember them and tell their story, support the channel by hitting the subscribe button, share, and leave a comment below. Through Margaret's eyes, the case is not just about evidence or suspects. It's about the deep, unshakable grief that time has never been able to erase, the lingering question marks that haunt every investigator, and the chilling reality that some crimes carve themselves into the soul of a community forever. For the families, this wasn't simply a retelling. It was a reminder that their daughters' names still matter, that their stories still echo, and that the city of Austin, and now the world, still remembers. Today, the case remains unsolved, but detectives retain hope. The unknown male DNA could still provide answers through genealogy. As technology outpaces old hurdles, Detective Dan Jackson says, "If I didn't think I could solve it, why get up every day?" The yogurt shop is silent, but the story echoes. For girls, their future stolen. A city seeking justice. A book still open, waiting for one final chapter. The yogurt shop murders aren't just history, they're a plea. For justice, for remembrance, and for truth. If you know something, anything, come forward. Because justice, even delayed, doesn't die. And thank you for staying with us. I hope you already subscribed to the channel. Leave your comment and share. Until next time, stay safe and stay aware.